Hello and welcome back to Earl DFS. I am by myself today. My brother's not. My brother is at work, so I will be breaking down this full 11 game slate here. Oh, yeah, this full 11 game slate for NBA tonight. So this should be a fun slate to go off of to be able to break down here. This is based on projections by RankedFantasySports.com. Their link will be in the description below. You can get a 7-day free trial, and they're $9.99 a month, which is one of the cheapest off of any platforms here. So be sure to check them out. Link will be in the description below. But let's hop right into the slate. We got an 11-game slate to break down here on Wednesday, October 30th for the NBA. Let's start it off with the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls 2-point favorites here with an over-under of 216, projected score 109 to 107. We'll start here with Kevin Love and the Cavaliers. Kevin Love coming into the game at $8,200 and is averaging 45 points a game. So he's definitely someone to look out for here. Good power forward spot. I don't know if I would start him in the center tonight because there are just too many options at center, but he should be interesting. Also, we have Tristan Thompson, which is averaging 41 points a game, which is really nice. Off to a great start. Those two are two great players right now for this struggling Cavaliers team. And then last we have our budget play, averaging about 20 points here at 3,600. Jordan Clarkson's not a bad play as a budget player right there. As we move on to the Chicago Bulls, we have Zach LaVine here, point guard, shooting guard, has $7,700. He's been averaging around 37 and a half points per game. So at that price point is not a bad play. There are definitely better options out there, but if you are looking for a decent point or shooting guard, I would definitely pay up for someone like James Harden or Russell Westbrook more. But if you need someone in that price range, Zach LaVine's not a bad option. Next, you have Lauri Markkanen at 7,600. He's averaging around 36 points a game, which is also really nice. At 7,600, that's not a bad price point for him. And then we got our two budget players here. We got Thaddeus Young, averaging around 17.5 points per game, and Chris Dunn at 3,600, averaging around 16 points a game. So if you are looking for some budget players here in this first game, those are the two that I'll look at on the Bulls side. Next, we head to Orlando and New York. This should be an interesting game. Orlando Magic favored by 9 points with the over-under at 209.5 with a projected score of about 109 and a quarter to 100 and a quarter. The Knicks. This is probably one of the fastest games they'll play too in the beginning of the season, and they're projected at 100. Not really a team I want to get to too much here. But if you were to have to get to the Knicks here, RJ Barrett at 6,500 is not a terrible option. His minutes have been pretty high these first few games. And he's been averaging 38 points a game, which is not bad for fantasy here. Julius Randle at 8,100, one of the only New York Knicks with true talent, really, at 8,100. So he could be an interesting play here too. Then you got Bobby Portis and Marcus Morris as two mid-range / budget players, in my opinion, with Portis averaging around 27 points a game and Marquise Morris averaging around 25 points a game. They could be pretty decent plays here. Not sure if I want to get to the New York Knicks too much tonight, considering they're 9-point underdogs and only projected 100 points. Not really if I want to get much to this game at all. This is one of the lowest over-unders of the night. So not too much here to go over for the Magic as well. Nikola Vucevic at 8K could be an interesting play, 33 points a game. And then as our budget player, Markelle Fultz, he's finally starting to get his confidence back. At 4,100, he can be in line for a good game tonight against the New York Knicks. And 4,100 is not a bad price to pay for that possibility. Next, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves going up against the Philadelphia 76ers. Philadelphia is 6.5-point favorite with an over-under of 224.5. A little bit higher point total on the slate, a projected 115.5 to 109 score. And everyone's looking at one specific matchup and one specific matchup only. Feels like in this game with Joel Embiid going up against Karl-Anthony Towns. They are $100 apart, so good luck trying to decide which one you want to go with. Karl-Anthony Towns is projected about a couple points better than Joel Embiid, though. So Karl-Anthony Towns, he's been killing it here, averaging 68 points a game. Who knows if that is completely sustainable or not, considering he's had games that look like 73, 82, and then last game he dropped a little bit with a 49-point game. So we'll see if he can continue that against Joel Embiid tonight. That's a very tough matchup, so that's going to be an interesting player pool to decipher there with Embiid and Karl-Anthony Towns. I feel like you have to go with one. You just have to pick the right one here. Next, for the Timberwolves, we have Jeff Teague at 5,700. He is a good mid-range option here for point guard, averaging 26 points a game. Is not too bad for 5,700. Andrew Wiggins at 6,300. He's projected around 36 points tonight, which could be very nice at his $6,300 price point. And then our budget players, Shabazz Napier at 3,600, averaging around 23 points a game, which is not half bad. And then we have Joel Embiid at 10K, one of the most expensive players on the slate today, going up against Karl-Anthony Towns. So who knows if those two defensively just dominate each other and they can't really score many points, or if it's just a very high-scoring matchup here. We will have to see that for tonight. Then next we have Tobias Harris averaging around 39 points a game at 6,700. I think he could be a very good play here. Along with Ben Simmons at 8,700, he can be a decent play. He's averaging around 41 points a game. And then a mid-range option to look at here is Josh Robinson, who could be interesting at 28.5 points a game. Overall, this game looks like it could be a higher scoring game. 224.5 over under is a very nice number to see compared to the 209.5 we saw last game. So let's just move on to the fourth game of the slate. We have the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Boston Celtics, which could be a very intriguing matchup. Just getting this up real quick. We'll start with the Celtics. A very nice play could be Kemba Walker here. He's been shooting pretty well. He's been playing overall just great, averaging around 36 points a game. So, and then Marcus Smart could be seeing a pretty nice matchup here tonight. At 4,500, he could be a very good start as a budget player. And then we have Jason Tatum at 6,800, which can get you around 40 points on any given night. And then we look at Milwaukee, the 2.5-point favorites here with a 222.5 over under. So that should be a close game tonight, which should mean high minutes here for Giannis Antetokounmpo. At 10,800, he is the most expensive player on the slate, but I think he can be a good start. He's going to have a decent matchup against Jason Tatum. So definitely look at Giannis here to get you some great points tonight at 10.8. He is averaging around 61 points a game, so he is a very reliable player to get you some big points. Then we have George Hill at 3,500. He went off last game, and hopefully he can bring his momentum into this game at a $3,500 price tag. Could be very nice. And then Chris Middleton at 6,800. I feel like there are better options in his price range, but he is not a bad play as well. Next, we have the Indiana Pacers and the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets are the fastest paced team in the NBA right now. They are favored by 3.5 points with an over-under of 119.5. There are three huge plays I love for the Pacers tonight. Domantas Sabonis, I can't seem to pronounce his name right, at 7,900 could be a very nice play here, along with Miles Turner at 7K and Malcolm Brogdon at 7,300, which those three I think are great starts here. I'm really liking the Pacers tonight with those players. And then on the Nets side, we have Karis LeVert at 6,300, which could be interesting. And then Kyrie Irving at 8,700. I don't know how much I'm going to want to get to Kyrie Irving tonight. At 8,700, I feel like you'd be better off paying, I think, the $800 or $900 extra and getting Russell Westbrook. But if you want a point guard in that price range, Kyrie Irving could be an okay play tonight, but not someone I would want to go to. And I think we're about halfway through the slate now as we go to the Detroit Pistons and the Toronto Raptors. Raptors 8.5-point favorites with an over-under of 222, a decent over-under tonight. And probably our best budget play of the night will be coming in this game. We have Detroit. For Detroit, we have Andre Drummond at 9,400. Can't really go wrong with him. And with Reggie Jackson being out tonight, Tim Frazier can see extra minutes at $3,200. He is looking at our best value play of the night because minutes equal money, to quote Al. So, and then we look at the Raptors here. This is going to be a lower scoring game, but I do like Pascal Siakam at 8,400 if you are looking to pay down away from Joel Embiid and Karl-Anthony Towns. I think Pascal Siakam is a great option to go to. Kyle Lowry's been playing really well. He's been shooting the ball really good. He is that top shooter now that Kawhi Leonard is in LA. So at 7,400, he could be a very nice play tonight. We have OG Anunoby. At 4,700, I think he's still underpriced. He's been playing really good this year. He's been averaging around 30 fantasy points a game. So a very nice play there. And then we have Serge Ibaka at 5,600, who can be seeing a decent amount of minutes tonight, along with Pascal Siakam. But overall in this game, it's going to be a lower scoring game, especially for the Pistons. But I feel like Tim Frazier at that $3,200 is the best play of this game. Next, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Portland Trailblazers, a 1-point favorite. The Trailblazers are tonight with an over-under of 223. So this is going to be a close game the whole way. That means I like Damian Lillard here to be playing 34-plus minutes at 9,100. Could pay off that price tag really well. Hassan Whiteside at 6,700. Is a pretty nice play for his price. And then CJ McCollum has been shooting the ball really well this year. At 6,600, he is a great play. Hassan Whiteside, an even better play if Steven Adams is out tonight, because that'll make a matchup so much easier for Hassan Whiteside. Having to go up against Nerlens Noel is a lot better than having to go up against Steven Adams. For the Thunder, Chris Paul at 7,100. He's priced there for a reason, I think. He's been terrible, to say the least, to start off the year. That's why he's at 7,100. Oh, I just got an alert. Kawhi Leonard will not play tonight. That's huge right there. He's being rested tonight. So keep that in mind when building your lineups. Kawhi Leonard's not playing. But back to the Thunder here. Chris Paul at 7,100. I would actually like to go to Alexander here at 6,900 as a better play here. He's been averaging more points. He's been playing more, and he's just been playing better than Chris Paul at $200 cheaper. I like Alexander better than Chris Paul. And then another great value play. He does take a center spot away, but Nerlens Noel could see a lot of time, especially with Steven Adams being out tonight. So if Steven Adams is out, I feel like Nerlens Noel is a must play here for Oklahoma, or for the Thunder. Yeah, Oklahoma City. At $3,300, he can get you a very nice amount of points for a very cheap price. Next, we have the Houston Rockets and the Washington Wizards. The Rockets are 8-point favorites here with the highest over-under total of the slate at 230.5, projected 119 points, which is the highest on the slate. So if there is a game you want to stack a team up with, it is the Houston Rockets. James Harden and Russell Westbrook are a great stack together. Russell Westbrook could easily get a triple-double tonight. James Harden could easily drop 40, 50 points scoring, which could be a nice 70-point fantasy night. So keep an eye on those two because that could be a huge game out of them. Clint Capella is also intriguing at the center position for 7,200 as a pay down option away from Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns. And then we have Eric Gordon at 3,900, which could be a good budget player. And if the Rockets are blowing this game out, then you can definitely look at Eric Gordon to get a little bit of extra minutes. If they do choose to sit Harden or Westbrook, he can definitely fill in some time there. Next, we have for the Wizards, not really much. Bradley Beal, plain and simple, he is Washington. Nothing crazy to go out there. Thomas Bryant at 6,600. He's been averaging around 35 points a game, which is really nice. And then a punt play or value play, Davis Bertans. I think there are better value plays out there than Davis Bertans, so I wouldn't be going to him too much, if at all. But if you need a budget forward, then he can be decent at 3,700. All right, we are on to the 10 o'clock games. Late slate here, we have the Charlotte Hornets and the Sacramento Kings. Sacramento favored by 7 points with an over-under of 225. Implied total of 116, which is really nice for these Kings. Look at De'Aaron Fox at 7,800 for the point guard position. He can have a really nice game tonight. Buddy Hield at 6,200. He's been struggling shooting, but he can easily see an uptick, and or you can easily see him shooting better tonight against this really bad Charlotte Hornets team. And then we have our value play of the game, which I kind of really like. Also one of the sweetest names in basketball, Bogdan Bogdanovic at 3,800 could be a very intriguing play for a budget play. Looking over at the Hornets, Terry Rozier, I'm not a huge fan of him at 6,200. I just wanted to put him in there because he does somewhat run this offense, but he's been struggling. Cody Zeller went off, getting tons of boards last game, so he can be an intriguing play at a mid-range center position. Then two decent value plays could be Miles Bridges and Dwayne Bacon at 5,300 and 49 respectively. As we head to the Clippers and the Jazz. Now, I did have Kawhi Leonard playing here, but obviously he is not now at the forward position. So I'm going to take a look here. You can easily get to probably Harrell a little bit more now. Let's see who's right behind Kawhi Leonard for that. Harkless could be an interesting play now at 4K. He's definitely in play. And let's see other forward positions. So he can be an intriguing play at 4K. As we head to the last game of the slate here, we have the Golden State Warriors and the Phoenix Suns. Warriors are 4.5-point favorites here with a 228.5 point under over. We'll look at We'll look at the Suns first here. We have Devin Booker at 7,900. Could be a decent play at point guard and shooting guard. Then looking at a decent value play could be Kelly Oubre Jr. at 6,200. Now that Kawhi Leonard's not playing, you can look at a little bit lower price for a forward position maybe. And then a great budget play was Aaron Baines, who played really well the other night against the Nuggets. So he can be an intriguing play at 4,200. And then we'll move on to the Warriors here. Stephen Curry at 9,500 is always a great play. And then him and D'Angelo Russell at 7,900 could be a very good dynamic duo if you want to mini stack this game. And then coming back from an injury, we don't know if he'll be on limited minutes or not, but with the injury of Kevon Looney, we can definitely look at Willie Cauley-Stein at 4,700 to get some decent minutes here in the center position for the Warriors. And that is the 11-game slate we have for tonight. That is going to do it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me guys know if I missed out on some players or stuff like that. What do you guys think of the slate coming up tonight? And I'll catch you next time. Peace out.